I know what that is. That's a good way to start the show. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another Paranormal Q&A with Jack Kenna and Carly Hall, who's shutting off my alarm in the background. Just shut it off, or
Yeah, I shut it off.
yeah,
Perfect timing.
I thought it was
Woohoo! It's showtime.
yeah, showtime. It's literally showtime. The alarm went off, and it's showtime.
Yep.
It was my reminder. So
At least we know our clocks are set right.
At least I know. Yes. Good. Wait. Hey, Michelle Mellons. Actually, we never pronounced that right. So, mil,
Millions?
millions, I believe
Yes.
it is like millions, but millions. I think we got it right this time. Sorry, Michelle. We butcher your name all the time, but we love it. Carl Mitchell, how you doing out there? I do.
We?
Let's put it that way. Well, you used to say it the same way, so I don't want to hear about it.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm too much of a grammar Nazi to butcher that.
Yeah, that's pretty true. John McGinnis is out there. How you doing out there, John? Who else we got? That's Michelle again. Here we go again. She says, "Yep, you're right. Here we go again. We're gonna get off that subject. So we're just gonna call you Michelle. Michelle M. Michelle M. That's it. Michelle M.
Oh, millions! Yeah.
Millions. Oh, we get it. Yeah, even though she broke it up for the millions. Okay,
sorry, I was like, there was one
now that she did that, I
corrected.
probably will not forget it. Yes, I will. I'll still forget it. No.
She did it last time. What are you talking about?
Yeah, she broke it out, but she didn't use this eye symbol. She did
She did use the eye symbol last time.
Did she?
I do. Yes,
I
I
don't
do remember.
I didn't remember.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm sorry,
all right.
Michelle.
We'll get it right. We'll get it right.
Eventually,
So I don't remember seeing the eye symbol, but I will try to always remember. I mean, look at it this way. I mean, I always call my friend Helena. So
that's
you
true.
know, I mean,
True.
at least I recognize you. That's all I'll say. Yeah. I don't ignore you. Karen, now you're out there. There's Bob Maloney is out there. Bob Burnell is out there. Oh my God, there's a whole bunch of people out there that are actually going to be coming to our event in August, which is pretty cool. Yeah. A bunch of them, almost. I mean, a lot of them. So, really excited about that. And we are just down to a limited number of tickets left for that event on the USS Salem. So, we're glad everybody's going to be coming. It's a good thing. So a lot of people
are going to be an awesome time.
Coming. Yeah, we're going to have a good time. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, oh, he's saying Carl. I thought Bob was saying, "Hey, Carly." I thought it was as he says, "Hey, Carl and Bob Burnell." Okay.
I mean, people used to call me that. So.
Carl.
Mm-hmm.
Carl.
Corals. They used to call me Carls. They also used to call me Car.
Rick Grimes.
But that turned out to be a safety hazard. So
oh boy.
I was crossing the street one day, and because we used to play in the street as kids, and then someone was like, car, and I turned around. I was like, what? And there was a car coming down the road. Yeah, so that was no more. But.
I have friends when I get on a plane, they yell hijack every time they see me coming on the plane.
That's true.
Yeah. Could be a problem. So I did see that today. I didn't not paranormal. Well, maybe it is paranormal related. Who knows why this person was freaking out? But it was a supposedly off-duty airline attendant, who was still in uniform, started. I guess got on a speaker or something, told everybody to put your masks on. We're going down, and I don't know what the heck else happened after that, but the pilot had a call for all able-bodied men to come to the front of the plane and drag the person down. He was going to try to take the plane down, I guess, or something. So, yeah. Glad I wasn't on that flight. That's all I could say. Or maybe it was one of my friends. They saw me and said, "Hi, Jack," and they grabbed him and threw him down. Could have been. That was just some of my friends, I guess. Anyway, Emily is here too. I see we got a bunch of people in here today. So I didn't know if I was gonna talk about something today or not today, but I actually, there is something that's been kind of sticking in my mind, and it's techniques, investigation techniques. So I'm going to throw that out there today, and because everybody uses kind of different techniques to investigate, and and some people use some really out of the box methods, and some people use this like standard methods. So I want to throw out there today and ask each of our friends out there, each of our viewers out there, if they have, when they're investigating, if they have a typical um, investigation technique they like to use, and what is that? I'd like everybody to share that out. And hey, Barry Martz, how you doing out there? Barry's going to be coming to our event too. So if you have a certain technique that you like to use when you investigate, technique comes down to a lot of things. I mean, it could be how you speak to spirit, how you just approach a location when you first walk in, um, you know, whether you even like to investigate with others or alone. Um, throw it out there. We'd like to hear about that. I mean, me personally, I always like to investigate with at least 1 to 2 other people. And that's because I think when you get like 3 of you there, I mean, I've seen this a lot with different investigations. Even if you put somebody else just like a few feet away or another room over from where the other 2 people are, you can have some very interesting things happen. Like hearing like one or 2 of you may hear a disembodied voice and the other one doesn't. I've had that happen. 2 of you will see something, the other one won't. You're all looking in the same location or direction. So if you're all in the same room, things like that. So some very interesting things can happen. But I do, one of my techniques is I do like to work with like 2 other people, if possible. And especially carry at least 2 recorders. You know, 1 person or 2 people each with their own recorder, because I have found that works really well when sometimes one person will catch an EVP and the other one won't. I've also had it where we captured a noise we heard. We heard it one way. It sounded like this some strange noise, but the other recorder captured it as a female voice. That's another reason I like to use that technique and make sure I use 2 recorders when I'm someplace. So anyway, so that's kind of the thought for today. What do you guys, any questions about techniques, or you have any techniques you'd like to share? What about you, Carly? What's a technique, investigation technique you kind of like to use? And it can even be you like, to way you use your psychic abilities. It can be psychic techniques can be a lot of things.
Well, that's going to change though. My technique's going to be changing though. So,
not necessarily. Things could settle out.
Yeah. I got to think about this because I don't think about this in steps. I like to ground.
What's one thing, a technique could be one thing you like to do every time you go on an investigation?
Ground myself.
Well, it's not really an investigation technique.
But
I mean, it is part of the investigation. It's a protection.
I always make sure that I approach a situation as if I was talking to somebody that was like standing right in front of me.
There you go.
As if they had like a body. So like even if you can't sense anybody's there, it doesn't mean they're not.
Right.
So when you approach their space, you still need to be respectful. So like if I walk into a building to investigate a certain building, I'll still knock on the door, say, "Hey, I'm coming in," announce my name, why I'm here, say, like I want to be friends or I just want to talk to you, like I mean no harm, and just be respectful because in the end you are trespassing on their property. And if they don't want you there, they'll let you know, but there's no reason to be disrespectful or else you're going to get a disrespectful response back,
Yeah, you could. Yeah, you definitely could. Yeah. The old get out.
Yeah.
Bob Burnell brings up something. He says, I'm more into the audio side of things lately. Okay, Bob, you say audio things, but when you're doing the audio things, what are you referring to there? What's the technique that you're talking about when you say audio side of things? What are you doing with the audio, or how are you approaching things with the audio? Like to hear a little bit more about that. Here's one Karen talks about. She goes, I think having a male and female pair is helpful. Some spirits are more interested in interacting with just women or just men. Good point. And that's one reason I like to investigate with at least two other people, to have a diversity there, because usually it's like me and two other women. I mean, it's just the way my teams have fallen out, right? I'm usually the only guy on the team. So it's just the way it is. Oh, we lost your camera, Carly. I don't know what happened to you there. Carly's camera's gone.
I'm here. Hang on.
We can still hear you. Don't worry.
Oh, I know, but I just got to figure this.
Yeah. So, but that's a good point, Karen, because that can make a big difference. I think you just shut your camera off. You just got to turn it back.
I didn't. Yeah. It said that another application. Okay, there we go.
Oh,
it said another application was using it, but it wasn't. I didn't.
Oh, okay. Unless there's something else running.
Having a male.
But that's a good point. Yeah.
It's also good with client cases too, because if you have like a younger teenager there, or like a female there that would prefer to speak to like a male or a female with certain stuff that they've been through, it's preferable to have like a diversity there so they're more comfortable,
Right. And Carl brings those. He goes, you go with an open mind, knowing a little history. Okay, that's a good technique. A recorder, camera, others, but not too many to avoid background noise. Yeah, that's not having too much equipment is a good thing. I mean, can be a good thing. It depends on how you set it all up, right? I mean, it depends what you're doing with it and how you utilize it and how you set it up. But those are all techniques. That's a good technique. Going in, and you always want to go in with an open mind, because when I go into a location, I never assume it's haunted unless I've been there before. I mean, that's a different thing when you've been there and you know it's haunted and stuff like that. But like in a client case, I never go in assuming it's haunted. I don't care what the client's told me. The client's information is good, and I take it into consideration as far as maybe where activity might be going on and stuff like that. But I never just assume that there's a spirit there. You have to kind of figure that out for yourselves. But you can do a little bit of history background, like Carl's talking about, and try to see previous owners and use those names, things like that. And Bob just points out that Karen is his better half. They go out on investigations together. And Karen says she likes doing the Estes method, but we haven't done that yet. All right, that's another method that people use. Yeah, it's another type of technique. Using trigger objects can be a technique when you go into different locations and stuff. And I'm just looking down the line here what people are writing. Bob says, it was being ignored at the Conjuring house, and the ghost responded well to Karen. See, there you go. Okay. So, I haven't been to the Conjuring house yet. So, well, we haven't.
That's another good point, though. So, a lot of people kind of are a little bit hard on themselves, like some sensitives or some psychics.
Yeah.
I've found, because they go to a location, and this is what's especially hard about having more than one medium at a location. The spirits pick and choose who they want to talk to. So that may mean that you're not the person who gets anything. And that doesn't discredit you at all. Like, I used to have a hard time going to a location when I first started, and I'd be like, I'm not getting anything. Yeah. And I thought it was me, but it's not. You just have to get it through your head. You're like a telephone. Just because they don't pick you up and talk to you doesn't mean that you're not capable of doing that.
Right.
So.
Or the other psychic could be stronger psychic because they've been doing it longer. And
or they may have like a familial connection or a hereditary connection. There's different things that they just may feel more comfortable with, or they may look like somebody. Or they're just
easier. They pick up on things sooner than you do, so it's already getting translated before you get the chance to even pick up on it, because they've been more open. They're more open. They've been doing it longer. I see. Carl says, what are your thoughts on ghost boxes for EVPs? Go ahead, Carl. You take that.
They're killer on the ears when you do.
He's talking about ghost boxes. He's not talking
ghost
about
boxes.
necessarily.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
it could be the spirit, the SP7 or something like that. But in general, I always think of ghost boxes like the other ones that don't make the noise. They just, the more advanced ones they have
the
now.
reverb ones, like
like that, and they have ones that just like
okay.
Lucky Bell Camino was using at the Lizzie Borden house that time or whatever.
I mean, I like
but
them.
in general,
right.
I guess
I like them, but I think that one issue that I have with them is people's their personal experiences in life, and I feel like their wants and desires kind of overcome their translation of what's actually coming across the ghost box. If that so, like, say someone says like banana over the ghost box, and someone's like, I heard them say my name.
Yeah.
Like, oh, they're talking. I'm not saying like a ridiculous word like that is said and then they get like their name like that, but that can happen. Like sometimes people like yearn for such a special connection, like with or wanting to reach a family member so bad that like they'll.
Right.
So I feel like it's great for EVPs and stuff, but you have to go in with somebody.
I think for most of it, you have to. It's like any other EVP. You have to go back and review it and really listen to the audio.
Yeah.
And see what was really captured. Because at the time, a lot of the stuff coming through those things, can be subjective. Unless like what we had at the Lizzie Borden house when it came through loud and clear, the whole room heard that. That was so loud. It's so clear.
That was a rare one.
It was loud. It was
I
clear.
have never
the whole room heard that.
They don't come across that clear though. Normally,
it literally said we have that audio somewhere, but that literally said as Lucky was doing a reenactment of Lizzie supposedly killing her stepmother through. Was it the? Oh my God! Was it the what you call it? I had going.
It was.
Was it the spirit box or was it my ghost radar?
Box. No, it was the spirit box.
Oh, spirit! It was the spirit box. Spirit box. Anyways, it said literally loud and clear. The whole room turned and said, "Did that just say?" It said, "Die, bitch."
You could
just
hear
as she brought the axe down on the woman's the fake
axe
down on
the first go.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Which you could guess that's probably what she said as she did that. If she's the one that,
or her
I believe she's the one that did.
But,
die, bitch. No, she probably. I would say she probably actually said that.
Yeah.
Because she hated her. She hated her.
See, now that was so loud and clear, like it.
It's the clearest EVP coming through an electronic device I've ever heard, and that whole room heard it. There was 15 people. There
was
in that room.
No everyone knew what it said. There was
Lucky was even like Lucky was the first one. He was. Did that say just what I think it said? Did that say die, bitch? I'm like, yeah. That was crazy. So they can be very good. The point is here, they can be really good to use, but you gotta be careful. If you get something like that, and you've got to go back over the audio and really see what it's saying. You can guess at the moment, and try to go with it. But I have seen a lot where some people always seem to believe it's saying their name. Yeah. We've been on places like that, and where is it? Oh, it's saying my name. It's saying my name. It's like, and I can see other people around the room going, they're not saying it out loud, but I didn't hear that. I heard something else. But anyways, it is what it is. But they can be good. But I like where I just try to listen unless something's really obvious. I don't go with it. I like to go back over the audio later on and listen back. Because I have found my full name after the fact. Matter of fact, there's one investigation we did using a spirit box. You weren't there at the time. I didn't even know you at the time.
Is this with Rick?
It was an investigation I did out in Connecticut, and turns out, going back through it like a year and a half later, after I met Rick McCullum, there's an EVP coming. This has happened to be a demonic case. An EVP voice came through. It said my name, and I heard it say my given name, John Kenna. Then it went through and said something else, and I didn't recognize because it didn't make any sense to me because I didn't know who it was. As I'm listening back a year and a half later to get some stuff for a TV show we were going to do, I hear it say, it said my name, and then it said Rick McCullum. And I heard that, and I sent it to Rick. I said, Rick, tell me what. I didn't tell him what it was. I said, Rick, tell me what you hear on this audio. He raised back, son of a bitch, it says my name. Where'd you get that? And I'm like, an investigation a year and a half ago before I knew you.
That's a good indicator, though.
Yes, it was a good indicator. It was something very likely. It was demonic. Because they'll tell you almost like your future. It'll give you something hint towards your future.
You were destined to meet Rick.
Yeah, it was kind of weird, but it freaked him. I mean, it freaked him out a little bit, and it freaked me out a little bit. Because again, this is a year and a half after the fact, and I only met Rick like 8 months before that. So how did it know? And I didn't. That's why I didn't recognize what it was saying. I didn't know the name. It made no sense to me at all.
That's how powerful they are.
Yeah.
It's terrifying when you think about it. Like, no, yeah.
Yeah. And Cheryl Brooklyn brings up just something regarding Lizzie Borden. She thinks she had help with the murders, and yes, that's pretty much a known fact. They actually do believe it was her uncle, who also hated his brother, and there was a lot of reasons why. And yes, Carl, the SB7 noise is annoying. I can only take about 30 minutes of that now.
Oh my god! And I always make sure to like bookmark when I'm doing audio review, like the little tabs you can put in when it starts and when it ends, so I know that I always do that separately when I do my audio review.
Right. And Regina's right; she was there with us that night, but she, like you said, she wasn't in the room, unfortunately. I think a few people were down in the basement. I don't know if Regina, you were one of them, but there were some people downstairs, some people in the basement at the time.
She did table tipping with us. I do remember that.
Yeah, that's right. She did table tipping. Let me see. Barry, I know you just came back on. We've been actually talking about investigation techniques and what people like to use. They're like their favorite technique they like to use. In case you didn't catch on to what we've been kind of working towards. We got into devices and things like that. But if you got anything you want to share with like an investigation technique you like to use, Barry, share that out there. He says the chat room isn't working out with him tonight. It isn't live. I have to keep refreshing. You may just want to try to restart your computer, Barry, and see if that'll resolve the issue for you. I know we've had some internet issues on and off this past week, just things dropping and some crazy stuff going on. Yeah, it could be your internet connection, but you could try just try restarting your phone or your computer, whichever you're working off of, and see if that helps you out there. But I've been kind of trying to have people share their investigation techniques and what our techniques are. Teresa Fowler. She's talking about my kiddo and I went outside with amethyst, and we could see the legs of. Did I say right? Amethyst? Yeah, okay. Really dark shadow standing in the woods, and we both got really cold. Interesting. I'd like to know where that was. Just outside your house, or did you go on a location to a place? Or very cool. That's another technique. People can use different types of gemstones and different types of crystals and stuff to try to increase activity. I know some people that do that, scrying. They like to use that as a technique when investigating. So there's all kinds of possibilities and techniques you can use out there. Barry, again, we're sorry your chat room isn't working, but just try that and see if that helps to restart your whole system.
I'm gonna say something about Carl's comment, because that has to do with real time, like right now. And he goes, as opposed to cow tipping.
What's he talking about? I'm not. I may not be down that far
The
yet.
table tipping as opposed to cow tipping.
Oh yeah, well I suppose you could, like if you're investigating a pasture, you could do some cow
God,
tipping.
don't tip a cow. The poor cows.
See if
Don't
it's
tip
see
a
if
cow.
see if the cow is haunted. I suppose
Oh my god.
that would be interesting. Virginia says the uncle was a butcher. I believe that's correct. Which would make sense. They actually believe he killed his brother and Lizzie killed her stepmother. I can tell you that much.
Well, that would make sense, like strength-wise. That way, if he fought back, you know, he'd have a chance to.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that, and they think that's what really went on. So let's see. I'm just looking down all this stuff. Bob Maloney says, I like to use a recorder, camera, and a millimeter or K2. All right, that's equipment now, Bob. Now, a technique would be, how do you like to use those things? You're talking about equipment, but how do you like to utilize those things while investigating? That would be a technique. So tell us how you like to use those. I mean, how do you like to set them up? Do you like to set up the camera watching at a location and then using a recorder? Do you like to walk around with the camera and the recorder and try to capture things? And how do you like to use the millimeter or the K2? Under what conditions do you like to try to use those, or using them to just try to gather communication through them? Now I know, like, think about like what we did in Clifton Park. Was it Clifton Park? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with the woman's house when you brought the millimeter in. That was kind of a technique for using that millimeter. We were asking certain questions about things and watching, and once we realized what was going on, we kept bringing that individual up to see if the millimeter would respond to that. So that can be a technique, using certain things to trigger it, such as,
which I think that
person's name.
I'd like to add that to our technique, because I feel like that also gives spirit closure when we do client investigations, because I don't think we've done that before when we do evidence presentation with a client. Was use
typically
you're not.
That's not what's going on when you do it. That just happened to happen that way. I do, like, usually just have a recorder running, but I don't usually have like any millimeter. You're right, I don't use it. Like when I'm doing a reveal, I'm not really investigating, so I'm not really running any devices. But you could, because if we hadn't been, we wouldn't have had that happen, right?
I feel like that's good for the client.
That could be a new technique to use when you're going back for the reveal.
I think that'd be good for the client too, because if they're like, I don't know, like maybe we're just hearing things. Like if they see that on the millimeter, like it kind of adds to that. What's the word?
Well, it worked out that time, that's for sure. That
like
was a technique.
Instead of her being like, I don't know who that is, it solidified it, like that was her mom, like that, and that really nailed the hammer to the nail, like, she was awesome.
She was good, but that was like a technique, bringing that in during the reveal. That's a technique that you can use, because basically you're using the person as a trigger object, And I just threw that up there. Just John McGinnis says, "Tip your waiter, not a cow."
Yeah.
Eddie Pence is out there. Hello, Eddie. And guess who's here? Ellen McNeil.
Mama Bear. Oh.
How you doing, Ellen? Glad you came in. Hope everything's good out there. I saw her posting some stuff today.
I can't wait to see her again and give her a big hug.
And Barry says chat room works on his phone, so that's a good thing. Yeah, it won't be too much longer we'll be seeing him again. And Keith Bailey, I guess, came in. Hey, there he is. No cow tipping allowed in Texas, Keith says. Oh, is that against the law out there? Probably.
Yeah, of course it is. Don't tip a cow. They're so sweet.
Tip your waiter, not a cow.
People, for those of you who have not had this done, if you get permission and you're able to see a cow, like have like a baby cow like suck on your hand like for the salt. It is like the most amazing feeling that you will ever feel, and they're so adorable. Oh my god, it feels so good. They love it for the salt.
Yeah. Just like the cat when he licks your hand, he wants the salt off.
It's so cute. Feels so good too.
Dogs do the same thing.
It's not as good. It's not as good.
I guess I don't know. I never had a cow or calf lick my hand. I couldn't tell you.
Living in the middle of nowhere.
I guess. I guess you could call that a perk.
You've been through there, you know.
That and cow tipping. You used to go tip cows, didn't you, Carly?
You go down the
went cow tipping, didn't you?
I did not.
You did too. You went with the other kids in school and went cow tipping.
I did not.
You used to go and watch them and yell at them, "Stop tipping the poor cows."
I used to walk by cow farms on my way to Rite Aid, though.
Well, yeah. Well, where you lived, you couldn't avoid it. Literally.
All
right, back to this other stuff. All right, so Pappardell says, should wear headphones when doing investigation? Yeah, you can catch a lot more. I would normally miss. That is true. I don't use them constantly during investigation, but there is times when I will do that. And we used to have a recorder that you could, it was like called the real-time EVP. You could set it to delay, so you'd hear it back, you'd hear your question, and then you would hear if there was a response to it, like 10 seconds after you originally said it, So it's good stuff. And yes, that's a good way, but you can do it just regular live, just wear headphones and talk and see if you get an answer. Just give that 10-second spread in between at least.
Yeah.
Nick is out there. Hello, Nick. How you doing? I always like to just say hi to people. And Bob Maloney says, he goes, I ask questions and ask them to make yes, okay, that's a technique. Yes, asking the spirit to make the numbers on the meter go up or down, or to light up the meter. So within the K2, like with K2, make the lights go on. All good stuff. I see. And Chase says, hi, Carly Hall.
Hi, Chase.
Tell Chase I said hi too.
Yeah.
I know he didn't say.
I can't wait to investigate again. Okay. I hope he comes on an investigation later on. That was fun. And
Ellen's just going to throw this up there. So happy so many of you will be joining us at USS Salem. Yes.
Yes.
And we do have a limited number of tickets left, so if you'd still like to join us, feel free. You can go on to spiritsofnewengland.com, go to our, I think it's events page, and you can purchase your ticket there. And find out, I think I listed a little bit more about it, or maybe I didn't list more about it there. But anyways, details are my thing. Or Ellen can post your details here if she likes. I know I put another post out today, so I'm not going to get into that. So Barry's just catching up. We're talking about investigation techniques, Barry. So it's all about investigation techniques. And if you have a specific technique you like to use while you investigate. So that's what we've been talking about. That and other things. And Keith is saying, here, Old South Picture has been really active lately. I know it was very active when I was there, and that was 2 years ago. So, yeah, but our friend Candace goes there, and Greg do events there a lot, and they've said the same thing. It's been very active of late, and it's a very cool place. If you've never, not everybody gets a chance to get down south, down Tennessee and stuff, and go to these places. I mean, it's a bit far, even for us when we, make the trip. We will actually do an investigation in Tennessee, not at Old South Pittsburgh, at least not that I'm aware of. But we're going to be doing another location. We will be down there. But I've done Old South Pittsburgh, really cool place. If you can make it down there at some point, go. I would suggest you go. It's a lot of activity. It's nothing bad, but you get a lot of interesting and cool activity down there. And they do some very interesting things. They use an interesting technique. They call it the human pendulum. Don't you remember them talking about that last
I
time?
do. I do
did the
remember
show?
talking about that. Yeah.
They hang you from a rope and leave you in the room, and something will push you in the room. The only problem is they tie the rope around your neck. No, they don't. They don't do that. Just kidding. But they do, I think, set up. So I don't know. You're
I'm so
sitting
light
on a
that
rope.
I'm so
I don't know if
light.
it's like a rope swing they set you up on or whatever, but they have you sitting on like a rope, and I mean, some pretty famous people have been in there from TV shows and have had it happen to them. It's like, holy crap, something's actually pushed me. They can feel it push them. So it's pretty cool. I've never seen that technique. I wasn't there. I didn't use it when I was down there, but it was something more recently they came up with. And Keith says, "Oh, wait a second. I posted something here from Bob. I don't know if I did it on purpose. Oh, he said let me just get to this, and then I'll let you say your thing. We had 2 REM pods set up this weekend, and yes underneath one, no under the other. Oh, I see what you're saying. Quiet weekend, but setup was good. So that's an interesting technique to use. You have 2 REM pods set up a yes on one and no for the other, and see if you get yes and no answers. That's a good idea there. Wow, I like that. Maybe we can try that on the USSC. All right, go ahead, Carly. You're going to say something.
I was gonna say I'm so late. When I sit on the swing, the wind could push me and give me an answer. So I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah. And Keith says his is evidence-based approach. All right, now that's an evidence-based approach. But what to get to that, is there one technique you always like to use? Evidence-based approach is what you want to do to figure out what's going on and stuff. But a technique, is there a specific technique, Keith, you like to use to every time you do that evidence-based approach investigation? Like, is there one thing you always like to do when you're doing the evidence-based approach investigation? Certain way you like to approach it. I don't know if you know what I'm getting at there. I see. Here's one from Karen. When you ask questions, make sure to ask them twice, no matter what the answer is, especially when using yes/no response. You'll have, this is true, Karen. I always like to ask them in a different way as well. Like, don't ask it exactly the same way. Ask it just like psychologists do. They ask the same question in different ways to see if you get the same response. So, Carly, what do you think about that?
Oh, I completely agree. Because one experience that we had was with the flashlights. Remember, the batteries were setting the flashlight off, like it would the connection would charge up and then set out a charge.
Yes,
so
that can happen. Yeah,
we debunked that by doing that because we wouldn't get consistent answers.
Correct. That's right.
So it's good to check for equipment.
Yeah, I have found another flashlight technique you can use that will definitely give you correct answers.
That was crazy.
Turn the flashlight on, period, and ask it to turn the light off. Just turn it on, and ask it to turn the light off. And I've seen that happen, and consistent responses to the questions too. Yeah, I never thought of that, but it works. And I don't know why I didn't think of it, because I did that with a K2 once. We were in a room. There was so much EMF. The K2 was just almost fully lit up. So what I did is I said, well, if there's a spirit here, can you take the lights away? And as we started asking, it did that. It took the lights away consistently to the questions that were being asked, and consistently to those questions. So just because you're in a room, it's like, oh, there's so much high EMF, I can't use the K2. Yes, you can. Just use it the opposite way. Ask them to take the lights away. Drain it. Drain the power away from it. So it will work. If there's something there, it will work.
That's something you don't need to debug.
Yep. And Nick is here tonight. And he says, Keith says he uses the cathedral grid to get the best out of it. There you go. So that's something he does. That's a great thing. That's a good thing to do. And Michelle's going on about, some people are still going on about cows and cow tipping and eating mushrooms and all kinds of good stuff. So interesting. Oh, although magic mushrooms could give you a good paranormal event or experience. Now we're talking about drugs. Get those magic mushrooms out, people. I guarantee you'll be seeing something anyway, or experiencing something. Jenny, you see, I missed something. Jenny was responding to something great to use on her. Maybe mushrooms. I don't know. Jenny Sullivan. Oh, nice. Great to use on my Friday night investigation. There you go. Here goes Barry. I think Barry finally caught up to this. Well, my technique that I like to use is to walk into an investigation area, whether it be a building or not, and slowly walk around to get a yes. That's feel for the spaces. I do this before using any equipment. Very good, Barry. I do the same thing. That's one of the first things to do is do a walkthrough of a location. That's a technique. Do a walkthrough, feel it out, see where you feel like where there might be something going on, whether you might be a spirit there or just something different about one location one spot in the location as compared to another spot in the location. Great technique to use to try to determine where activity might be going on. Is there any specific crystals or things you like to use when investigating, Barry, that would perhaps increase activity? I'm just curious. Barry knows a lot about crystals and all that stuff. That's why I'm asking him that. You do too, Carly. But what about you? I mean, is there something you like to use to try to increase activity?
I don't use anything to increase activity, but I use stuff to increase my receptiveness to activity.
Okay. All right.
I like to use rose quartz, tiger's eye, and black tourmaline. Because even though you're increasing your receptiveness, you still need to maintain your grounding.
Mm-hmm.
Because it can kind of spiral out of control if you're too open, and that can lead to attachments. So in your you're needing to increase your receptiveness to activity, you also need to maintain your protection. And that goes on to when you ground and shield, maintaining, being very specific with what you want to be allowed in. So I don't know anything about increasing activity, but
quartz could potentially do that.
It could draw the energy from quartz.
It depends on the way you use it. Yeah. Because quartz will actually absorb energy too. But I suppose, you can use it is an potential energy source, so you could use it to try to increase energy. I suppose it's the way you would physically use it.
And also with a location, if it's Native American grounds, you could bring offerings.
Yes.
Use different flowers, herbs, items. Yeah. That'll all increase activity. So.
Mm-hmm. And I just want to give a shout out to somebody who's new here from Ireland, Jenny Sullivan. And Jenny, I'm not going to try to pronounce your last name because I'll get it wrong. So we'll let you kind of pronounce that out for us if you like. I'm terrible. Ask anybody here. I am terrible with names. She's from the Emerald Isle Paranormal Researchers. Very cool.
That's so cool.
Part of my family is originally from Ireland. Our last name was Kenna. Yes, you too. Some of you found out some of your background.
Yeah.
But yes, my grandfather originally came over from Ireland. Last name was originally McKenna, and when they came to the States, the MC got dropped. Actually, they came through Canada. The MC got dropped there. It's really weird, right? Because first they came through Canada, then they went back, and then they came back again through New York City, like a decade later, or 20 years later, whatever it was. But Jenny, anyway, welcome to you, and feel free to, if you've got a link to your guys' website over there, feel free to post that. It's always welcome here to share information about your team, yourself, and all things that you guys like to do. Because I know they do things a little bit different over there too. They use different techniques and things like that. So feel free to share that information, Jenny. If you have a technique you guys like to use with your team over there, share that here. This is what we're talking about tonight, is techniques. And they are talking about magic mushrooms. I don't know why they're talking about magic, but I think I get it with all the cow tipping stuff. I don't know. What mushrooms are we talking about? I think they're talking about the magic mushrooms, yeah.
I don't know.
And then Jenny says, no, not the mushrooms. Okay. I don't know what they're talking about. They're having a well, as they usually often do. They have a separate conversation from us. See, they lose interest in us. They don't pay attention to us. We just ramble on, and they start talking about other things, which is okay. It's good, because that's what I want to do. I want to talk to each other out there. Mm-hmm. Here's one Bob does. This is a good technique. Played back music from a cell phone to use as a trigger. Yes.
And I know where he did that. We were there when he did that. That was awesome.
Where was it? I'm trying to remember.
The Hudson Valley investigation. Remember
yes. Yeah. At Coho's musical. Yes.
He played the music.
I forgot.
I
just forgot. Yeah. Yep. That's true.
And he came up with that all on his own.
He did. Because I don't know if he'd seen it on TV or not. I mean, I knew about that.
No, I know, but we didn't say anything about that. He just did it.
No, we didn't. We didn't bring that up. But people learn from other places. But he knew enough to do it. That's a great thing to do at the music hall, which was plays and singers, and actually the one spirit is supposed to be the spirit of a woman who was a singer and an actress.
Yep, that's the music he played.
Yes, that's right. He played her song. Yeah. I think he got the idea from the guy who was giving us the tour.
All I know is I was sitting there,
remember the guy doing it,
and I was like, "Oh my god!"
The point is, he listened and he picked up on it, and he did that.
The point
and that was great. That's a good message.
The point is, he did it and it worked, and he's a genius.
Well, he's not. Well,
he's a genius.
He's a very good investigator.
Yeah.
He's an excellent investigator.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
He stands out. A lot of people do, but he'd investigated on his own a few times and stuff, but just doing his own thing. But you're right, he picked that up and did that during the class, during the lab, which was pretty cool. We will be, looks like we might be, I'll say might at this point, giving our classes again at Hudson Valley and SUNY Schenectady. It'll still be the 101 class. But they did ask me to resubmit, so I resubmitted. We will not be able to do a live investigation, though, but I have figured out that we can do a lab with the equipment and do kind of a fake investigation.
Cool. Can I come in with a white sheet and some eye holes and go?
I suppose you can. They might try to.
I'll be the ghost.
Yeah. Well, part of what that's going to be about is use of the equipment and techniques, which is what we're talking about.
Yes.
Right. Can they pick up on what kind of techniques are they going to try to use?
I'll come over to the REM pod and I'll set the
REM pod. It's going to be a little bit different. I mean, the locations aren't haunted, but but we can set up some stuff and do some things, and see how they work with the equipment and what techniques they, how they approach trying to investigate. Yeah, you could. Look
at Carl's comment. I need to come in with my Ellen McNeil shirt that says "This is Bushi." Oh God.
Oh yeah, that's the Ohio. That was the Ohio team's T-shirts. Yeah, my friends have all.
This is Bushi.
Bushi. Yeah, I know. It kind of sucks with this. They're not going to allow us to do outside off-campus stuff. So
That's
at
okay.
least, yeah, they might not be able to know until the last minute. So I'm like, I can't just try to get something at the last minute. So
Yeah.
it's not going to work out. So we're going to do the labs this time, but we'll sort something else out in the meantime.
We'll figure it out.
Oh, and Nick just brings up who Jenny Sullivan is. Oh, very cool. She is awesome, he says. Well, we love everybody, and I know I've seen Jenny with some other on some other shows and stuff, talk shows and stuff like that. So she's a cool person and very welcome here, and I just want to make sure she knows she is very welcome here. And always welcome to participate.
I have a question for the people.
Go ahead, shoot your question out.
So, what do you guys know about cats and the paranormal? Like, how do cats function within the paranormal?
There you go, people. That's your question from Carly. How do cats function within the paranormal?
Yeah.
Can you be more specific?
Like how like intuitive they are, or how they interact with the paranormal, along with owners who are psychic or mediums.
Oh, okay. Right.
Or empaths.
Okay.
I gotta tell you, our cat is laying on the floor right now, and he looks like a fluffy log, and I just want to pick him up and like cuddle him, and he's so cute.
A tube of cat.
He's a tube of a cat.
Tube of cat. And Jay says she's just off a show and talking about experiments. Jenny, feel free to share what show you were on, and I know a lot of them are rebroadcast, so we can everybody here can catch that later on. So because we may have missed it, so feel free to share that. So you're talking about like familiars?
Yeah, in a sense, yeah, I think so.
Or the fact that the Egyptians felt they guarded the doorway to the other side.
Yeah.
Guardians of the doorway to the other side.
Like especially with like people who are more sensitive to their sixth sense. I feel like you can have like a stronger connection with your cats, since you have something you can relate on a little bit, but also use as protection in a way, even if they are nasty to you.
You see, I saw.
I'm just interested by other people's opinions on cats, because I've been seeing like a few different like kind of like excerpts about people's experiences with their cats in the paranormal, and like how they see their cats function in the household, like as either protectors or kind of like courts, like they absorb energy, like they absorb all your negative and like release all the positive, or if they're kind of just there.
Yeah. So here's a question to you from Kat Cooper. Carly, are you still doing your spiritual classes? We never got to do them.
We never got to do them.
Because COVID hit.
Literally that week. We were supposed to do it. We
actually had one, and they had to cancel it. And we have not been able to do it. So yes, I mean, it's up to Carly. I would still like to do them. We have all the brochures.
Dude, I literally had it all set up. I had the presentation down. I was practicing it.
You had everything set to go, and we got shut down by COVID, and we haven't been able to do
I pretty much gave it during our show, like throughout COVID. I did end up like
we covered a lot of stuff.
Telling what it was during the show, but I can still go through it.
But I think we're going to be able to do that now. Again, I think the library is actually. We're supposed to get word today from the governor whether he's reopening the entire state completely now or not.
Well, we can go to Walmart without a mask, so I'd say yeah.
Well, he was going to like reopen, like no masks, no restrictions, no nothing.
I mean, for God's sakes, if you could go to Walmart with no mask, like you're free. Phew,
Yeah, because
you are all
once
set.
they reached a certain percentage, and they're like 0.01% away from reaching that percentage. So I don't know if he made that announcement to open up the entire state again or not. I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
I didn't catch it today. And Barry, sorry you're having problems tonight. You remember you can always recatch the show another time. I know his chat's not working, which sucks. So, Cat, we will be doing those. It's just we never got the chance to actually do it. So we're going to be doing those at the libraries locally.
The world wasn't ready for my spiritual classes.
No, it wasn't ready. Not ready. Was not ready. I see. I was going down some other stuff. And I don't know if this is a threat. But Keith says Carly Hall would make a cute ghost.
I wouldn't be scary, would I?
No.
Then I'd be angry, and then I'd just be cuter because short
Is that
people
a
are cute.
threat? Is that a threat? He's saying he's going to turn you into a ghost.
No. We were talking about me in the white sheet. Remember?
I know.
Ooh,
Yes,
okay.
I know.
Anyway,
I know what he's talking about.
anyway. Then I'd be angry, and then since I'm, how shorter people get cuter when they're angry because you can't take them seriously. Then it just wouldn't work out. I'd be an angry ghost. It'd be bad.
And it turns out Jenny is a cat lady. She's got 5 cats.
I aspire to be like you.
Oh my God, no, we're not gonna have 5 cats.
I love cats.
We got 2 in this house right now. It's enough.
My fur baby's so cute.
Good. When I'm dead and gone, you can have as many cats as you want. But not.
I'm gonna have to cope with that. But I'm glad I got your permission. I'll be crying, swiping my credit card.
I won't care. I won't be around. I won't care how many cats you have. I ain't gotta live with them.
Oh God, I love my cats.
2
cat.
is more than enough. 2
Oh,
more than enough. 5 cats. Well, Ellen used to have like a bunch of cats at one time. I remember.
Nothing's better than getting suffocated. Nothing's better than getting suffocated by a big furry belly around your head when you're waking up in the morning.
And Regina's right. They do pounce on the bed. I even have a ghost cat that still pounces on the bed. Or used to. I haven't seen him around. I think he's confused as to where I am now because it used to be downstairs and now the bedroom's upstairs, so I don't get that anymore. Keith says they see spirits as well. That is true.
And dogs. Dogs do too.
Bob says he thinks they are protectors. No, they kill mice.
They feed us.
Carl says cats can see and feel spirits. Oh, I think most animals can. And my sister Michelle says cats are highly sensitive beings. They can be shapeshifters and seers. That's only if they're demons, which Zoe might be one.
I will say though, and this made me very happy.
Zoe is my sister's cat. I'm just kidding.
We were over at you remember this? We were over at Pam and Steve's at the Lookout House when they were still there, and Lori Johnson was there, and she was talking about how she saw a black cat around my neck and hovering around my head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that must be like a black cat that used to hang out in our barn all the time back at my house, because there was one that was like super overly attached to me, and I would go outside and pet it, and we were best friends. And then I moved into here, and this is what she was talking about. So if Lori Johnson is I love her. She's so amazing. But I was so shocked when I woke up one morning, and I was like, that's what she was talking about. So I love that. I loved it so much. It meant so much to me. It was awesome. So poor Chino. Now I overly cuddle with him and just shake him around.
Well, he has a cat that wraps himself around her neck, so your head.
Yep.
And Keith, yes, I know. I was just busting. We know you all love Carly. I know you're just talking about her putting a sheet on, pretending to be a ghost.
I love you guys too. Yeah. You can stuff me into a box and ship me, and then I'll be fine.
And Ken LeBlanc says, in his opinion, cats are highly intuitive, and at the same time, they can be Yeah, assholes too. Yes, they can. Yeah. They definitely have attitudes, and they are their own beings. Um, they're not like dogs. No, no. Although dogs can be a little weird, but cats are. Like, hey, you know. I think a T-shirt I got for Carly says it all. It's a cat knocking over a cup of coffee. Says, "I do what I want." Just gonna hold it up for you.
I wore it this morning. Hang on.
I do what I want. That's Cheeto anyway. That's cat for you. That's cat for you right there. I do what I want. Boom.
So we want to make a series of like Chino videos with like voiceovers because we do it on our own, like with Chino just walking around
Yeah,
the room. We voice him over. I think if we made a series of that, that would be absolutely hilarious.
It would be. It would be fun.
Like, I only had 2 nibbles today. They're trying to starve me, and they won't let me out.
Disturb me.
Oh.
I want to come back in.
No.
5 minutes later, I want to come back in to get my nibble and my drink.
I need
Where
my
are you?
nibble.
Let
I need
me
my
in.
nibble and my drink.
I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna go right back out. But he does. He does that.
Yeah.
Oh my God! I can't imagine somebody having 12 or 13 cats. No, that really is cat lady.
Yeah.
Right there.
I'm good with it.
Yeah, everybody's talking about their cats now. Yeah, Nick. A lot of times I wake in the morning in the middle of the night. As soon as I open my eyes, I got a big cat face staring at me. Yes.
Hello. Are you awake?
That's Chino. If we in the weekends, if we don't get up early enough to let him out, he's like in your face. Let me out.
I've had him. I've literally kissed that cat's ass. I've had him. That was not on my part. That was on his part. But he was a real asshole that day. But I've had him like jump and headbutt me in the mornings to wake up to let him out. Like, yeah.
Yep. And Cheryl says she's still too allergic to animal dander, but she loves cats and dogs. But that's too bad that she can't move. And yes, sometimes your cats own you. Actually, almost all the time your cats own you. They tell you what to basically do. Ken says he likes your t-shirt. He said, perfect t-shirt. There you go. Carl says same thing. Cool shirt. And I'm just going to do this. If you're looking for any good books to read, you can find all of mine on Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com. Just type in search Jack Kenna, and you'll find all my books come up. The reason I'm saying this is we are at our time. It's 9:02 p.m., believe it or not, people. Always a pleasure to have all of you on. And if we didn't get to your question tonight, we will get to it again. Just remember your question and ask it next week. We're back every Tuesday night, 8 to 9 p.m. Yeah. Hour goes by fast. We know that, but I think it's good. I think an hour is good. I don't think I'd ever want to do 2 hours. I think it's a little bit too long.
Also,
thank you for all your comments tonight about all the cats and the mushrooms and the cow tipping. We greatly appreciate all that. And make sure you keep reading people's comments. They're still posting some very cool stuff out there. Carly, anything you want to bring up? Anything you want to say?
Yes. So this Saturday, the 19th, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., I'm doing the fundraiser stream for Anthony and Deanna Holmes. So
right. Don't forget
be
about
there.
That, people.
Say hi, even if you don't donate anything. At least say hi and be there to show some support. And you'll find me at Twitch. I'll post the link later. I'm gonna have like this whole poster that I'm gonna make tonight and post it tomorrow. But Twitch TV, twitch.tv/chaosjade. Is where we are going to be posting it. All the money I make that day, and I'm also going to have a link to donate directly to them if you'd like, will be sent over to them. So.
And don't forget to get your tickets while you still can for our USS Salem event, August 7th. Join us for that. Again, you can get the tickets at spiritsofnewengland.com and go to our events page, and the link to purchase your tickets are there. Going to be a good time. And thank you all of you who are coming. And remember, 50% of the proceeds goes to the USS Salem. We are not keeping it all for ourselves. 50% goes back to the Salem to help support it and the people who run it out there and make it possible to have these events. So thanks everybody for joining us. You guys all have a great night. We love you all. We'll see you next Tuesday. Bye.
Bye.
As soon as I get this thing going.